Angkat denganku, bangun, hey, hey, marilah menari.
Hello there, this is Zack Yusof reporting for Switch Up on staronline.tv. Hello there, I'm here at the Rice Cooker store in Central Market with my good friend Mr. Aidil Rusli from Couple. Hello mate.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Aidil is obviously the main man with Malaysia's premier power poppers Couple, and he's here to talk to me about their new album Teenage Disc Fantastic. Okay, Couple's last album 207's Top of the Pop was a bona fide indie classic that had kids everywhere pining for it. It was a big success with the indie fans locally, and right now they've got a new album out. So without further ado, we're gonna launch into the chat, mate. Let's start the interview with you telling me a bit about your new album. Obviously, you got a new lineup on this one, and you played plenty of gigs together. How's that impacted the record, and what kind of record were you trying to make with this one, man?
With this one, because we've been gigging together a lot, so I just thought it would be fun to make something more that sounds more live and a bit rockier than what people are used to expect from us. So that's why I decided to put in a bit of punk, a bit of glam, you know, and just in general make it a bit more raw and dirty it up more. But I just have to make sure that the songs are still memorable and catchy.
Okay, well, mate, you've delivered a sexy beast of a record, which kind of gets better with like repeated listens. But one thing I noticed is that there's a bit of a progression in the sound as well. Would it be fair to say that something that you aim for?
Yeah. This time around, I tried to not make it, you know, as straightforward as it was before. So, and I think the most obvious difference is in the first single, because I chose Come On Operator, which if you listen to the whole album, I think you can find a more obvious first single than that, but I just thought that with Come On Operator, it sort of represents the soul or the spirit of the album, and you know, it kind of makes a statement. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, you know, Couple are obviously one of the hardest working band in the whole like indie rock universe. Like, you guys are constantly on the road. What keeps you on the road, mate? I mean, you still have fun playing like tons of shows every year?
Oh yeah, it's I think the moment it stops being fun, I think we'll stop gigging for a while. But it hasn't stopped being fun yet. So yeah.
And then this new line, sorry mate, this new lineup, you know, you played what, over 100 shows together, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's amazing stuff. Yeah.
Because I think last year alone it's about 90 plus shows, and the previous year, so yeah, 100 plus.
Okay, well, how has that impacted your record? You know, obviously you guys are like a well-drilled outfit now, right?
Well, the recording is, I think I've always liked to have an organic sound, so I try not to have the drums triggered or, you know, stuff like that. So if we screw it up, then we just record again.
Brilliant stuff. All right, man. And you know, you guys, right, one of the most popular local bands on the internet, right? And
I hope so.
Lots of fans, lots of hits on MySpace. I mean, Come On Operator, over 1 million plays on your MySpace player, which is fantastic. How important has the computer age and the whole, you know, social networking thing been for a band like Couple?
For us, I think that's about the only avenue we have for promotion, because we don't get much airplay, and we don't get written about much as well. So but thanks to this whole revolution in technology, people just somehow can stumble upon our songs, and thankfully they like it lah. Because I think it all started when we just give free downloads of the songs from the last album, and maybe it took about 1 year for people to pass it around, and then suddenly they know the song. So
okay, fantastic. Well, going back to Teenage Disc Fantastic, right? Can you talk a bit about the influences that run through the album? I mean, obviously I hear your power pop classics there, you know, your Raspberries and that. I also hear a lot of the Beatles. I mean, can you talk about your influences on the record?
Yeah, obviously the Beatles will always be a starting point for us.
They're the dons.
Yeah. So them first, and then we just go down the family tree, you know, to through all the American bands that try to ape the Beatles or things like that. So, but with this particular album, I'm actually aiming for the early power pop sound. But there are two early power pop sounds lah. One during the early 70s with the Raspberries, Big Star and all that. So I'm aiming for a bit of the Raspberries, and then also the late 70s rebirth of power pop with bands like The Beat, The Nerves and all that. So I was also aiming for that kind of sound.
Fantastic stuff, fantastic. And do you think you've managed to sort of hit the nail on the head as far as like what you want to do? Are you happy with your record?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it sounds, and I'm also happy that sometimes I saw an American or European blogger write about the album, and just reading him or her saying that it sounds like early power poppers like The Quick and Buster. It just makes me happy lah. So yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I got it lah.
Well, obviously I was saying at the top of the show that Top of the Pop, your 207 album, right, was a huge success. Lots of kids were going crazy about it, and it united kids and critics alike. Everybody seemed to love the record. Did you feel some pressure in following up a successful indie record like that with this fantastic?
Pressure, maybe a bit, maybe I'm not sure. I don't really think about it, but what I wanted to do is just not repeat the formula of Top of the Pop. So I think that's why we chose to go a bit heavier and give the kids a bit of a surprise with we don't want to give them the same thing twice or thrice. So yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Well, I do. You guys, like, couple are one of the prime movers on the local indie scene, right? I mean, obviously tons of gigs, like I said before, and you guys managed to develop quite a healthy fan base. I mean, can you talk about your impressions of the local scene? Has it been one way you could work it and build this local scene? Has it been do you think the scene's any good?
The exciting thing about the scene now is unlike the alternative explosion in the 90s, it's really gone to the masses, because it's not just people who like English language music who are into the scene anymore. It's even normal school kids who listen to Siti Nurhaliza or whatever, they also appreciate the music that the indie bands are making now. So I guess we are now at a very important crossroads, the scene, because it's like when maybe Search and Wings came out with the first album, so the rock kangkang, yeah. So that phase, because before that it's all pop, and rock was considered very underground. It's the same thing as indie now, because people just say, oh, underground, it's not good. So
yeah.
So we've come to the stage where the ship starting to you've launched the ship. Now you have to steady it. We hope that all the bands
steer it in the right direction.
Yeah, we hope all the bands can make really good records that it'll just stabilize, and then people won't just say it's just a flash in the pan, like what happened to hip hop a few years back.
Right. Yeah.
So hopefully all the bands will come up with good stuff.
Okay, fantastic stuff. Well, and the last word on Couple, right? You guys seem to be on a righteous mission to sort of bring back tunefulness, if you will, back to the local scene, which I think is a very cool thing, mate. Lastly, just how important is the whole idea of writing a proper song to the Couple ethos there?
It's very important. It's the number one. It's number one in our in our manifesto, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, because to me, the song is. Because of the genre that we do, the song is the most important thing, because it's sort of like, before you can run, you have to learn how to crawl first. So, before you can go and mess things up, with arrangements and all that, you have to have something to mess with,
Yeah.
Otherwise it's just messed up, right? So,
I like your metaphors, my son. Well, wonderful, mate. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Always great talking to you, Aidil. But before we go, right, just quickly, where can people get hold of Teenage This Fantastic? Obviously here in Rice Cooker, right?
Yeah, here in Rice Cooker. There are a few more shops, like if you're in Seremban, you can go to Kodai Sopan in Terminal 1. And then in Ipoh, there's the Dirt Tea shop in Ipoh Parade. There's a few more steps I can't remember, but you just go to our MySpace, www.myspace.com/couple, and you can see all the info there lah. Also, how to order the album by post, we do it as well.
Okay, fantastic. Well, you know, to round things off nicely, you're gonna play us a song on an acoustic guitar, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, what song are you gonna play us?
It's called Menari Lahir.
Menari Lahir, that's
Yes.
from Teenage This Fantastic, right?
Yes, yes.
Alright, mate, so thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Zack Yusof reporting for Switch Up. I'm gonna pass you on to Aidil from Couple with an acoustic track, especially for us. Cheers.
Bangun, hey, hey, marilah menari denganku. Jangan malu, janganlah termangu di situ. Jangan kau malu, ayo dekat denganku. Bangun, hey, hey, marilah menari denganku. Jangan malu, ayo goyangkanlah punggungmu. Jangan kau malu, ayo dekat denganku. Denganku, bangun, hey, hey, marilah menari denganku. Oh, bangun, hey, hey, marilah menari denganku. Oh, bangun, hey, hey, marilah